Hey everyone, I'm Aaron from Low and Slow Basics, and today we're going to go through a few different setups in the old Weber Kettle. Now we get messages almost every day asking, how do I set up a Weber for a brisket? How do I set it up for chicken wings? What if I'm doing pulled pork? But today we're going to cover about 4 different methods that you can use for different cooks like roasts, chicken wings, low and slow. So we'll get started by going through the charcoal basket setup. All right, so your charcoal baskets, great for that Sunday roast. Typically you want them filled up with nice ashed over red hot briquettes. And the way you can do that is either get a fire lighter, bury them in each basket, light them up, wait 10-15 minutes, and you'll have 2 baskets full of nice red hot briquettes ready to go. Or what you can do is have your fire lighters there, light them up, and you can measure out how many briquettes you're going to use in each basket, and then you can use a chimney starter, pour them in, and they'll be ready to go in about 10 minutes as well. Or the third option is, and we'll go over to the gas barbecue. If you've got a side burner on your gas barbecue, then you can light that up. This is what I usually do because it's nice, quick and easy. Put your briquettes in there. Once the bottom layer's sort of caught alight, turn your gas off, and about 5 minutes later you've got a nice chimney worth of ashed over briquettes ready to go. So this setup, you'll get about 4, maybe 5 hours of burn time out of these. If you do run low or it only lasts about 3 hours, it's going to change depending on if you're using charcoal or briquettes. If you've got the cooking grate that flips up, you can always just top up with more briquettes. That's always handy. And then for the roasting setup itself, you always want your bottom and top vent wide open, and you can always put a drip tray underneath your roast, whatever you're cooking. Chuck veggies in your drip tray. All that juice and fat that's dripping down is always going to add a lot of flavour to your veggies. And you always want to make sure you get that clean burning smoke before you put your meat on. You don't want to taint whatever you're cooking with that dirty smoke. So that's pretty much the roasting setup. So now we'll move on to our next one. Alright, so in my opinion, there's no better way to cook chicken wings than a Vortex. So this is a setup for high indirect heat. You want to fill your Vortex up. Obviously there's no bottom to it. We've basically got a pyramid of steel there. You can either put your fire lighter, bury it in there, light it up, wait till they're nice, red hot and ashed over, or you can use your chimney starter. But you want to be careful because the opening of this is a bit smaller than your charcoal basket, so you might want to use some tongs to get them in there nice and safely. And then once they're ready to go, you basically want to put your cooking grate on. And if you want to use some smoking wood, you can place it over the top there, and then you can basically put your chicken wings in a circle around the Vortex. Nice high indirect heat. You're going to get that nice crispy skin. You probably get about an hour and a half burn time out of it. So when you put your lid on, you want both vents open again. Obviously it's going to draw all the heat out of your vent. So with your chicken wings, every 10 to 15 minutes you want to be rotating your lid so you get that nice even heat distribution over your wings. So another nice, great setup. So now we'll move on to something a bit more low and slow. All right, so now we're going to run through the snake method. This is that one where it's perfect for brisket, pulled pork, or any of them long cooks that are 6 to 12 hours plus. So we'll go ahead and get started on setting up a snake. Right, so there's our snake setup. It only took about 3.5 minutes to build, so pretty quick. And that's going to give us about 8 to 10 hours burn time with that size snake. If you wanted longer, like 12 hours plus, then obviously just build your snake a bit longer. You want to build them like dominoes, so they're going to fall into each other. And that's going to just burn all the way around. And then to start it, you want about 10 to 12 nice red hot ashed over briquettes. put them at the start of the snake, stack them up so they're going to burn through. You can either do that with your fire lighter, but I always like to use my chimney starter for that, so I can just pour them straight on in at the start there. And then to start it, always have your bottom vent and top vent wide open, and to monitor your temps, if you don't have a temperature gauge on the top of your Weber there, we'll just chuck our cooking grate on quickly because you're obviously going to be cooking on that. If you've got an ink bird or something, always chuck it on your grate there to monitor your temps. And once you get about to that 150 to 175 degree Fahrenheit range, you want to start shutting that bottom vent down. Always leave that top vent open, well, I do anyway, and then give it about 10 to 15 minutes to respond. If it is overshot, then you want to close it down a bit more, or if you've come just under your temperature you want to go to, then just open it up a little bit more, then give it another 5 to 10 minutes to sort of respond, sort itself out and stabilize off. And you always just want to make your adjustments with that bottom vent. So like I said, if you want to increase your temperature, open up your bottom vent, you'll get more airflow. If you want to bring it down a little bit, then either shut it off for a little bit or just have it pretty much just open ever so slightly. So that's the Weber setup for the snake method. So now we'll go through our last setup for the day with the charcoal rails. Alright, so the charcoal rails, these are pretty old school. They've gotten rid of them many years ago now with the newer Webers, but basically they're like the charcoal baskets, but they're a rail, so they just slot in like that, and then they're built to obviously hold your charcoal, so we'll fill that up. Right, so as you can see, you can fit quite a bit more there than what you can into the charcoal baskets. So you can use this method for low and slow, or as a substitute if you don't have charcoal baskets. You can obviously put your other charcoal rail on the opposite side and build them like your charcoal baskets, but you can do low and slow with this. You just want to leave enough room for about 10 to 12 briquettes again, nice red hot. Put them at the end there, and then they're just going to slowly burn through that pile. You'll probably get about 4 to 6 hours out of that, maybe a bit longer. And you want to treat it like your snake method setup, where you control everything by your bottom vent and monitor it from there. So that's a pretty quick and easy one with the charcoal rails. Like I said, you can use it like your charcoal baskets for your roasting, but you do fit enough briquettes in there to do your low and slow stuff too. So that's our last setup for the day. Alright, so just to recap, we talked about the charcoal baskets, the Vortex method, the snake method, and the charcoal rails. One thing that I forgot to talk about with the snake method, obviously if you've got your snake running all the way around the side and you've got your meat over this side, for example, over the non-lit charcoal, once your snake starts burning around that side, you don't want your meat directly over that charcoal because it's going to burn the bottom. So what you want to do is obviously just rotate your cooking grate so it's back over this side, because by the time the snake's burnt over here, this side would have been burnt out and it's cold again. So just rotate your cooking grate so it's never over the direct charcoal or briquettes that you're using. Alright, so make sure that you've subscribed to our channel, because we're going to be using a heap of them methods and more. We've already used quite a few if you've seen some of our previous videos. So hit that subscribe button so you get notified when our new videos come out. So that's now the end of the video. So I hope this has covered some of the techniques that you want to use or you've been thinking about using. There's so much more you can do with the Webers. You can get rotisserie kits, you can turn them into basically pizza ovens, and there's heaps of other techniques that you can use, but this is just a few to start you off on your barbecue journey. So I hope you've learned something. If you have, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment as well, and if you really liked it, feel free to share it with your family and friends or anyone who has questions about the Weber setup. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.